Use your credentials to log in into Developer Cloud Service. After logging into Developer Cloud Service, you will see this console. You can create a new project by clicking on New Project tab. You can give the name of your project, Project 1. You can put in some description. You can select your preferred language. You can select the security, whether it's a private or shared. Click Next. You can either create an empty project or create an initial GitHub repository, or you can import the project from external storage. Right now I'm creating an empty project. Click Next. You can select the documentation type, whether it's a Markdown, Confluence, or Textile. For me, it's Markdown. And now click Finish. Now all the modules will be, the DevCS will initialize all the modules. Like in different organizations, you have to configure each of the services like Docker, Code, Deploy, Maven separately. In DevCS, you can do it all in one site. Everything can be pre-provisioned. Like Developer Cloud Service will help you pre-provision all the modules at once. You don't have to worry about provisioning Docker or provisioning Jenkins or provisioning continuous integration tools separately. All the tools have been provisioned for you and integrated into one single project. Since I've already created one of the projects, I will be using that one to demonstrate Developer Cloud Service. I will select Product Catalog Project. Over here, you can see that all the modules have been integrated pretty easily in your one single project. You don't have to worry about integrating those modules such as Docker or continuous integration engine, connecting cloud with CI/CD pipeline. Nothing. Everything can be done in one single project, and everything has been initialized within a short period of time. On the left hand side, you can see the menu. It's code, where you will be able to create new GitHub Git repositories. You can search your code, like search keywords in your code pretty easily. You can see the keyword static in all your files in the repository. It's the best feature currently available in Developer Cloud Service. Then you can see the Maven artifact. Since I've already created a project, I can see the Maven distribution management console. I can manage all the releases using DevCS. I can create code snippets. I can see the merge requests done to each and every repository by various other developers. You can create issues over here by clicking on New Issue. Since I've already created one of the issues to create initial GitHub repository. So over here, I can select the owner. I can select the type of the issue, whether it's a defect, epic, feature, story, or a task. I can give external links to the issue. I can create sub-issues. I can put out the time or the due date for each of the issues. I can see the activity of the issue. You can see all the issues in this console. Let's go to Agile board. You can create either the Scrum board or Kanban board. Currently, I have created one test board where I have included task 1, a newly created issue, as a to-do list. You can move this issue into in progress. You can select whether it's in status or whom should be assigned to, who should be the owner of the ticket. Click OK. Now it's in progress. You can see the active, this is the active sprints. You can see the reports. You can see burn-down chart, sprint report, cumulative flow chart, control chart. You can easily configure your board. Now let's go to the build. It is basically a continuous integration tool embedded inside Developer Cloud Service, and you don't have to worry about how to initialize developer continuous integration. It's been taken care of with the Developer Cloud Service. Your time for the development has increased, and your initialization, you don't have to worry about infrastructure at all. Currently, I have created one new job, Twitter Fit Build, or you can create, if the job is not present, you can create a new job by clicking on New Job. You can give the job name, description. You can select the software template. Since I have already created one of the jobs, I will be referring to that Twitter field job. Click on configure. Over here you can add the source control. I'm using Git. For source control you can use SVN or any other tool. You can specify build parameters, whether it's a string parameter, password, or a choice parameter. You can select the build environment. You can select whether it's a SonarQube settings. You can easily integrate Oracle Maven repository. You can do SSH configuration. You can copy artifacts into Developer Cloud Service. For builders, you can specify which builder you want, whether it's an Ant builder, Maven builder, Gradle. For Node.js application, we have got different builders for SQL command line, then PSM CLI. For OCI CLI, the Docker builder is also available right now. Or then you can specify the post build actions for your build to store your artifacts into the files to archive. Then you can specify the JUnit test cases or test reports where those test reports should be published. There are many post build actions you can specify. You can specify whether it's a Git publisher, whether it's a Oracle Cloud Service deployment, or a SonarQube result publisher. Then go to settings. You can see the general settings for your build. You can see the you can change the name of your build. You can change the description of your build. You can discard the old builds, the number of builds to keep at all times to optimize your storage space in your cloud account. You can pretty easily do that using Developer Cloud Service. You can specify the softwares which are used or which are responsible for creating your application or building your application. You can specify the version of the Java, Ant version, Firefox, Git version, Maven version. Currently, I'm using 3.3 for building my application. You can specify the triggers, whether it's an SCM polling trigger or a periodic trigger. In advanced setting, you can select whether the quiet period, the retry account, about the build if it is stuck, if it gets failed, like if the build gets stopped, it will be aborted automatically using Developer Cloud Service. Then you can save your configuration, and as soon as you save your configuration, you can click on build now. Now a new job has been initiated, build number 5 for Twitter field build. Now what it is doing is that it will pull the code from the Git repository. It will try to build using Maven and create a new application. It will perform few test cases or test analysis will be done, and artifact will be published. Now the next step is to pull this build and deploy it to the one of the cloud services, like whether it's an application container cloud service or a developer cloud service. Let's go to click on deploy. Now in the deploy, we have got different configurations. Over here, I've already created a configuration for deploying my newly created Twitter field build to application container cloud service. Basically, what is application container cloud service? Application container cloud service, like for example, your environment is pre-installed and pre-configured using Oracle Linux and your choice of language runtime to maximize performance, scalability, and reliability, all on an enterprise-grade cloud infrastructure. The underlying infrastructure has the same secure and reliable core capabilities offered by Oracle Cloud Infrastructure as a Service. Now let's go and see what is application container cloud service. So this is application container cloud service console. You can create your application. You can either create a Java application, the Node.js application, or PHP application. You can even create Python, Ruby, or .NET using Docker Hub or even Go. Since I've already created I've already deployed my build on ACC on application container cloud service. You can see it over here. It is using runtime Java environment. It's pretty simple. Now let's go back to the developer cloud service. Over here we will see the configuration. Okay, you have to specify the application name. You have to specify the configuration name. Then you can select the jobs. You can select the artifact which should be deployed to ACCS. Then it should be automatic. Okay, now let's save it. You can create a new configuration. You can give the configuration name, application name. You can specify where you want to deploy your build to. It can be either Java Cloud Service or Application Cloud Service. You can specify the build. Right now the fourth one is successful, the fifth one is failure for me right now, so I will be deploying the build number 4, the successful build. You can specify the artifacts. After specifying each and every detail in this configuration, you have to save and deploy. You can easily deploy, you can stop the deployment, you can redeploy your build, you can edit the configuration as well as you can delete the configuration. Now let's go to Application Container Cloud Service. After successfully deploying your code or your build to Application Container Cloud Service, you can see it over here. So basically Application Container Cloud Service, it's an underlying with capabilities like elastic scaling, storage, and integrated load balancing. You can run your choice of workloads on Oracle Application Container Cloud and easily scale environments up and scale out as your application needs to grow. It's pretty quick and easy. You can create an application environment in the cloud with just a few clicks of the mouse. You have to answer a handful of basic questions and you're ready to deploy. Focus on your application and not on your infrastructure details. Scale your application out and traffic is load balanced across instances automatically with no additional configuration. When provisioning a new application, you can name the application with meaningful name that will be used in public URL of the service. Choose between popular language runtimes to match your application requirements. Specify the amount of RAM to allocate to each application instance. Select the number of instances of your application to run. Identify the Oracle Cloud Platform services your application needs to connect to. Decide if you want the service by the hour or by the month. It can save a lot of money for you. As you manage your application, you can scale up or down by increasing or decreasing the amount of RAM. Scale in and out by specifying the number of application instances to run. Update the runtime environment configuration. Upgrade to the latest release of your chosen runtime with the click of a button. You can start and stop your service whenever you need, pretty easily. You can view the metrics, you can start, stop, restart, delete, and open your application. After successfully deploying your TwitterFeed microservice application, you can go to the link. Like you will get an URL for your application, you can go to that. Since I have deployed a TwitterFeed microservice, I can view the static tweets. It pulls the Twitter feeds from the Twitter and put it into your application. You can see all the tweets over here. It's a pretty long file. Now let's go back to Developer Cloud Service. Let's click on Docker registry. You can easily link your external Docker registry, which will host your Docker images of your application. For documentation, we have got Wiki. You can add and create new pages. It is similar to the Confluence. Then there is an administration console where you can see the properties of your project, announcements, the project announcement configuration, uses metrics like how much Git and Maven has been used, how much builds have been created, how much memory or disk space is utilized by your organization, how much disk space is utilized for task and wiki. For issue tracking, you can customize issue tracking fields and metadata. You can easily customize the fields as per your needs. You can link external Git repositories, external Docker registries, external Maven repositories pretty easily using admin console. You can see the branches for each and every repository. You have to just select your repository. You can see all the branches. You can see this feature prevents selected branch from being renamed or deleted. For webhooks, you can easily integrate with Jira or Slack. By clicking on new webhook, you have to specify the type, the name, the URL, the secret phrase, which will help you to integrate with third-party applications. Now you can connect to syndication services, the RSS feeds or Atom feeds. You can link shortcut definitions for build continuous integration administration. You can easily link to Maven. You can easily link to SonarQube server or Maven server. You can import as well as export data from developer cloud service. Then for storage configuration, you can easily configure the storage or connect to the storage cloud Oracle Cloud Service using admin console. You can easily test the connection. So likewise, you just have to create your applications using developer cloud service. You don't have to worry about underlying infrastructure. You don't have to worry about updating your tickets. You can easily manage your boards. You can easily conduct your stand-ups using agile boards. You can easily, as soon as the code gets committed into the Git repository, the continuous integration will pull the code, the latest code, and try to build your application. And using the deployment plans and deployment configurations, it will be easily deployed onto the servers. Now the code has been tested, regulated, and deployed to the test servers as well as the production servers using developer cloud service. It's a pretty simple, straightforward cloud service. You don't have to like your development cycles are cut short to a pretty short sprints.